It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Biajilu. How are you doing
I'm
today?
doing amazing. So yesterday I had the honor of hosting and co-hosting an event as a master of ceremony. It was the She Awards Global 2025. And it was a gathering of powerful women from across the world. We had people from Liberia, we had from Chad, we have from the US, women who are doing well in business. And I had to, co-host the event with another powerful MC. It was fun. We had fun so much. I also got an award, Top Global Women in Business, yesterday. So it was an evening. In fact, I got home in the middle of the night.
So you're half asleep right now?
Yes, I'm half asleep right now. But I'll try and wake up in the course of the show. But it was interesting that I got the gig. So I remember when my friend came in while I was doing my makeup. And she was like, where are you going to? I said, I'm hosting an event as an MC. I was like, but that's what you do. That's your strength. I said, people don't know because I don't do it anymore. And she was like, I do this one now. Maybe from time, with time, people will see that you can do it and you do it. And it was beautiful. I got a lot of compliments yesterday. This is you. You're just a natural. It was, I had fun.
I'm glad. It's good. I mean, it's good for us to be versatile.
Thank you.
And do as many things.
Nail what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't think that. I would have thought you'd be doing it. I mean, I didn't even think you don't do it. I'm shocked.
No, I started
surprised.
doing it in the university, right? I did it. That's why my friends even know that I do it. But because I didn't really pay attention to getting gigs, you have to get the gigs first now for people to see that you can do it. So yesterday I got 2 people telling me that I'm going to be hosting their event because they saw me. So it's just putting yourself out there, basically. Yeah.
Ramatu, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Well, it was a very sad weekend for us because my husband lost his very good friend.
I'm so sorry.
His very good friend. He was ill briefly, and then he passed on yesterday in the night.
So sorry. May you so rest in peace.
One kind weekend for us. But of course, the kids are around, and of course, not eating, and then detailing, moving around. Anywhere I enter, you just
follow
see that tail. You see them.
Your last born,
all of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, but the first girl, she's still in school, so but the others are all
talking about the kids, I totally forgot. I didn't realize. I mean, I think I'm the only mother that did not realize that you can password the YouTube and Netflix and everything. I didn't even know that you could actually have they can restrict them. Yes, they can restrict them from coming to your page. I mean, I knew you can have their own page, but I didn't realize you can restrict them from watching my own page. I didn't know that. So my niece told me that. I did that, and I feel so proud that you can access mine. Because they're watching Chucky. She was like, they're watching Chucky. It's 18 plus. And I'm looking at say, well, they should be restricted. I'm like, I don't know how to restrict it. They should restrict it.
Knowledge is
I'm like, so she can't even go into my page. I'm like, yeah. You're good. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine, thank you. So, an auntie of mine had said, she was coming. I hadn't seen her in about 3 years. But what even made it more special was that she came with her children, who I haven't seen in nearly a decade.
Oh, my Lord.
It was such a beautiful reunion. I'm just, I was just so happy, really high, lifted my spirits. Yes. So they're here hoping to get the Lagos experience for this spring break.
For this break, right?
Yes.
So what are you planning?
I don't know. I said I was going to talk to you and ask you, what do you think they need to do? They are going to even come around with
age?
Exactly.
No, they're adults. They are young adults.
Young adults.
Yeah.
So that one is Sheila. I'll link you with Sheila. Sheila knows young adults.
I know shows nothing now.
So it was really nice to see them.
And that's nice. Me, I'm excited. It's our final week, RCCG. 100 days. We'll be 100 days on Sunday by God's grace.
Yes,
100 days. We're done on Sunday by God's grace. We thank God. I can't wait. This is the final lap.
She tried.
I mean,
you tried.
Dubai kind of
knocked you out.
Yeah, knocked me out, but I found
your
my way
way
back.
back.
So can't wait.
But fasting looks good on you. I think RCC should just continue the fast for Mariah's sake.
I miss my coffee in the morning. I can't. Monday morning, I'm gonna have a big bowl of coffee.
Whatever you do, the benefits you have achieved now, just don't lose it. Yes, sustain it.
We'll try the best we can. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. No new revelation by FBI on Tinubu says presidency. China asks U.S. to end tariffs. Trump envoy conveys stronger U.S. interest in Paris. Christians mark Palm Sunday, that was yesterday. Pope Francis opens Holy Week. House of Reps panel for oversight in rivers. Second phase of contactless passport issuance begins. National asset audit to unlock 65 trillion naira. 700 megawatts boost for national grid. And Trump tariff may be a blessing. Which other one? The construction? Okay. Of 777 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Road begins. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I could start with the Minister for Power saying that our investments are behind the national grid security. So the federal government has said the national grid has been stabilized with additional 700 megawatt transmission capacity. The Minister of Power, Chief Debaya Adelabu, said this at the weekend when he received the European Union ambassador to Nigeria, Gautier Mignon, in his office in Abuja. And he said, we have installed almost 90% of this and they are working. And that has improved transmission capacity by over 700 megawatts, which is the result of what we're seeing now in terms of relative stability in the transmission grid. Now, before now, at the time, the supply to the grid entered 5,000. The grid is unstable, it shakes, it collapses and all that. Now we're having an average of 5,000, excuse me, 7,000, 8,000 megawatts. So it's not by accident, it's because of the activities of government. They also said, you know, the administration has recorded 2 major milestones in the power sector ever in Nigeria. I said number 1 is the highest average daily power consumption. Over 20,000 kilowatts hour was achieved, which was never achieved before. And continuing, in continuation, he also said the Nigerian electricity supply industry, that's NESI, has transmitted and distributed highest energy of 5,801.63 megawatts as the latest feat. He said we have also achieved transmitted and distributed highest energy in the volume of 5,801, which has broken the previous record achieved in 2021. And lastly, we have achieved the valuable generation capacity of 6,000 megawatts ever in Nigeria. So that is why he's saying that when you put in some level of activity, you'll see the results. And, you know, he talked about how the European Union should continue to provide technical, financial, and other assistance to Nigeria, especially to the power sector, which is driving the force of the economy. So with all these achievements, now let's see if we'll not have any more, power grid failure.
Okay, so let me take the major headlines. So the presidency yesterday clarified that investigative records on the president, which the U.S. court ordered the FBI and the DEA, that's the Drug Enforcement Administration, to release are not new. The president advisor, that's the presidential advisor on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, was speaking, said that there's nothing revealing the 30-year-old reports. Also, one of the president's counsel, Mr. Femi Obabatunde Ogala, SAN, said that there's no restriction on the president's trips to the U.S., and the president has traveled to the U.S. since 1994, and he has been granted the rights of ingress and egress into the country. There's nothing new in the case that has not already been part of the public domain. And in a brief response, he just dismissed the buzz because there was a recent buzz about all the documents that was released by the FBI, and said there's nothing new in these documents. We already know about it, and they're all in the public domain, so he doesn't know what the buzz is all about. Okay?
Yeah, I have the barrage of tariffs initiated by the United States President Trump. It's been described as a blessing in disguise for African countries. This is according to the Solid Minerals Development Minister, Dele Alake. And he said this during a fireside chat session on foreign direct investment with the theme, The Alchemy of Foreign Direct Investment, Turning Policies into Prosperity for Emerging Global Markets. And this was the 14th edition in Abu Dhabi. He said that African countries, that this has called for African countries to adopt an introspective approach by looking inwards and adjusting their domestic policies to focus more on intra-African trade with little dependence on external forces. He says we need to organize our economic imperatives to ensure a balance of trade and strengthen intra-African trade among ourselves. The time is now. And he said that it shouldn't continually be where, you know, our raw materials are taken from our country and then carted off to, you know, different countries, siphoned outside of the continent, and that this should no longer prevail. He says interested investors who wish to come into Africa are welcome to set up their factories in Africa, add value to our mineral resources and create jobs here rather than just shipping our wealth out of shores. So these are, as we know, narratives that we've always encouraged, and it's good that he's saying this. So he's saying that this tariff would allow us think again really about how we would want to position ourselves in the market.
Yeah, so it's helping us to think actually, because the federal government have decided to audit the national assets. They said the federal government could unlock not less than 65 trillion from the ongoing audit of national assets in a major move that further hedges the nation's fiscal balance. They said the national asset could exceed 65 trillion. That's about $40 billion. They said that this audit is first of its kind in many decades and is being coordinated by the Ministry of Finance. They said the audit was a major step in government fiscal reforms aimed at ensuring the country optimized its assets as part of the government's $1 trillion economy agenda. And it also said that it's going to enable the government to take critical decisions, including raising funds through the assets to implement major infrastructural and economic empowerment projects. And they also said that the current market values estimated the collective worth of countries' verified national asset at the same $40 billion. So they mentioned all the sectors of the economy that they are hoping that the revenue will come from there. You know. So they also said that the assets, the assets include physical real estate assets and holdings in strategic institutions and companies in financial services, oil and gas, power and transportation sectors, amongst others. So they listed all.
Moving on now to the Punch. Battle for Rivers, AGF moves to defend Tinubu as PDP governors mobilize 11 SANs. Presidency dismisses U.S. court order on Tinubu and Atiku defers. FD rolls out flood preparedness campaign in 30 high-risk states. Autonomy, 774 local government challenge federal government states in court Tuesday. Abdulkarim's anti-Tinubu song gains streams as Soyinka slams NBC. I have the Abdulkarim story. So, veteran music Nigerian rapper Idris Abdulkarim's protest track "Tell Your Papa" has recorded a remarkable milestone, despite being banned by the National Broadcasting Commission. The song, which criticizes President Bola Tinubu's administration, has gathered attention of several Nigerians and has been making waves on social media. According to the statistics, YouTube "Tell Your Papa" has garnered over 22,754 views on YouTube and 1,200 likes since actually skyrocketed to 82,000 since it was released. On Spotify, the song has also reached a notable milestone of over 30,000 streams, indicating that Nigerians are still streaming. NBC had actually banned them from showing it on terrestrial and on the linear channel. So the commission cited a breach of broadcasting code, but Idris Abdulkarim obviously responded, saying that by condemning the government for criticizing and banning his music, saying that obviously this government does not is being insensitive and vindictive of songs that criticizes the government. Interestingly, Professor Wole Soyinka also condemned the NBC over the ban, describing it as a return to the culture of censorship and threat to rights of free expression, which I completely agree with, because the truth is that it was totally wrong. I mean, the president didn't ask you to ban it. Somebody in NBC just felt that, okay, this song is criticizing the president, and then bans it. And whatever you do, it's like you're doing it on behalf of the administration. It was quite wrong. I think it was really wrong for whoever did that initiated this ban. It was wrong for them to do that. But we have to go on a very short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view
is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria.
And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek.
Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me.
Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone.
So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's live camera fashion, where we cut, slay, and sachet, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name na Chika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of you, pigeon.
I'm gonna bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
no go see
disappear.
am again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person, we will give them to you. Fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch.
Yes, I have a human interest story. A 49-year-old man, Nnamdi Anyaji, has been arrested by police operatives for using an axe to kill his 68-year-old mother, Dorothy Anyaji. Yes, they said the incident happened in Anambra State, and it came from the result of a cassava business dispute between both of them.
No way.
Says, according to the spokesperson of the Anambra State Police Command, Tochukwu Ikenga, said the incident happened on Friday at about 2 p.m. in Amudo village in Ekulobia area of the state, and said he and his late mother disagreed over, the cassava sales proceeds. He accused his mother of being dishonest about the, the amount and the deal that they sold, and so he had used an axe in anger to hack the woman down to death, and now tried to take his own life before he was arrested by police operatives. So they have taken him into custody. They are protecting him because they are suspecting that he may try to take his life again. Yes, but he will be charged to court for that. So I'm wondering, cassava sales, how much could that?
I was going to ask, is it a drug issue?
Cassava,
like
proceeds.
Wow, how sad. How sad.
I think he realized himself after he had done it.
I wanted to.
I mean, you should have realized it yourself even before you think it.
How do you carry an axe for that kind of
Jesus, that is sad. I have the Federal High Court. I mean, that's so sad. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, they say will on Tuesday hear a suit that's been filed by the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria against the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and others over the implementation of local government autonomy. So they say that the registered trustees of Algon against the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Finance, State Commissioners for Finance, other defendants include Minister of Budget and National Planning, Accountant General of the Federation, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation Fiscal Commission, and so on and so forth. And Algon demands that the 700 and... okay, so this is following the Supreme Court judgment, July 11, 2024, that granted financial autonomy to the local government. Then Algon filed a suit seeking an order to restrain the disbursement of funds to local governments without approval. asking that the 774 local governments also be granted representation at the Federation Account Allocation Committee meetings where allocations are discussed.
See, it's getting,
it's getting messy.
Yeah. So, they don't invite you to FAC. You don't need to come to FAC. Stay in your local government. Once the FAC, once the allocation hits the state, they'll give it to you.
Yeah. So, well, that's
they also want to be attending FAC.
Yes, anyway, that's why they have called all of them to come.
774 local governments.
That would be too much.
It makes no sense.
It makes sense.
Anyway, so by Tuesday we'll hear.
Give them at least they take in mind. Say they started.
Of course.
Moving on.
So I have the flood gist. They said the federal government will begin a nationwide flood awareness campaign in May 2025 to educate and sensitize Nigerians on the risk and safety measures related to flooding. They said the Deputy Director of the Department of Flood Erosion Control and Coastal Management at the Federal Ministry of Environment said this at Tani Davidas, Mr. Kunle. He said he also revealed that approximately 1,249 communities across 176 local government areas in 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory are expected to experience significant flooding between April and November this year. So they said that, of course, they listed the number of states that are at risk. Some of them are Abia, Adama, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi. There's a lot of states mentioned. And they said that they will begin in Dutse. They move to areas like Lokogoma, Lube, and others. And that's how they'll start doing the campaign and sensitizing the nation. And they also said that data from the national, that's NEMA, revealed that in 2024 flood disasters affected 217 local government areas across 34 states. They said a total of 1,373,699 people were impacted, with 740,734 displaced and 321 fatalities recorded. So we hope that this campaign will really help and avert all these things from happening.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. Presidency unruffled by U.S. court order on Tinubu's records. Oil price slump. Tariff tension pushed Nigeria's forex market into turbulence. My predecessors wrecked IMO, left 292 billion naira debt, says Uzodimma. World Water Day stakeholders hails IBPLC for commitment to water conservation. Rivers, Fubara will return as governor, says Tompolo. UBA unveils upgraded POS terminal revamped money app. And Ndome urges Tinubu to act on worsening insecurity in Borno. Okay, which story am I starting with? Let me start with Tompolo. So, former leader of the defunct movement of the emancipation of the Niger Delta MEND, High Chief Government, aka Tompolo, has broken his silence on the political crisis in Rivers State. He told the gathering comprising former commanders of MEND, other former militants and associates that Governor Fubara would come back as governor. Tompolo, popularly known as GOC for his tactical efforts during the militancy area, had been prodded by the several commentators to speak on the state of emergency in Rivers State. So he was speaking at the Ijaw language at the 54th celebration, and a viral video. Tompolo admonished the Ijaw nation to toe the path of peace. He also said that Fubara, he said that when the minister of the FCT made Fubara governor, no Ijaw man was there, liking the political feud between them as that of father and son. He appealed to the people not to be provoked by the utterances of Wike, who he described as his friend. For the sake of peace, I am pleading with the entire Ijaw nation. Do not be angry. Let us rise above provocation and embrace dialogue. While also noting that it was the collective effort of the Ijaws that made Wike governor, he said he would also intervene. He also to resolve the issue. So pretty much, the Ijaw plays a great key role, and he's assuring them that Governor Fubara will be back and they will restore the issues, the thorny issue between him and his father, Wike.
Okay now.
We'll see how that goes. Moving on. Any other story? Vanguard. Let's find a story not taking. Palm Sunday can condemns Plateau killings, demands justice. 2027, Tinubu moves to halt APC members' defection from CPC bloc, says sources. U.S. court order on Tinubu, nothing new in FBI, DEA records on drug cases, presidency. Tariff, economic instability, job losses, forex inflow loom, says Nasima. An army decries poor Igbo youth enlistment in military service. Okay, which story?
Plateau State and CAN. So the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has strongly condemned the spate of brutal killings in Plateau State. This is particularly the attacks in April that claimed 52 lives in Bokas and Mango local government area. So there's a statement signed by the Archbishop, Daniel Oko, the president of CAN, to mark this year's Palm Sunday. I'll just read part of his statement. He says, with deep sorrow, CAN strongly condemns the recent wave of brutal killings in Plateau State, particularly the attacks April 4th, which claimed the lives of dozens of innocent citizens in Bokas and Mango local government area. These senseless acts of violence represent not only a gross violation of human dignity and the sanctity of life, but also a serious threat to our national unity. And we call on security agencies to act swiftly and decisively. And I'll just read the very last paragraph. It says that in this critical moment, we called on our leaders to rise to the occasion with humility and a clear sense of purpose. Jesus' choice to enter Jerusalem on a donkey, symbolizing peace and servanthood, remains a timeless example. So in the same spirit, appealing to all Nigerians, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or political affiliation, to rise above the division and embrace our shared identity as one people under God. And I think that says it all, really. Demanding justice for those who have been killed, innocent lives have been taken, and also moving forward that we should realize we're all, one under God. Yeah.
So the Nigerian army has raised alarm over the poor enlistment of Southeast youths into the military service. And they are calling for a change of attitude to reverse the trend. So according to the army, while Kaduna State has recorded over 3,000 applications in the ongoing 2025 recruitment exercise, Enugu State, they say, is still struggling with just 100. Excuse me. And they also noted that it was not also different in other states as well, other Southeast states. The leader of the 2025 Army Recruitment Enlightenment Team, Brigadier General Chima Ekato, was urging Enugu and Southeast youths to apply in their numbers in the ongoing recruitment to fill up their quotas. He says that, that they have given the people of Enugu 200 slots for this recruitment, but they are struggling to get up to 100. And even after the recruitment exercises, they may not even get up to. And it also happens the same way in other Southeast states. They said the number of total applicants that Kaduna has is about 3,000, while Southeast states are battling to get up to 100. And they are trying to see how they can encourage the youths of Southeast to get into the military. He also mentioned that some of them are, saying things like they usually send the Igbo youths out into the war front first. And so many of them die there, and that's why they are refusing to enlist into the army. He said it's a lie. That is not true at all, that there are many of them who are in the army who have top positions. He mentioned the particular person who is in charge of the equipment. His name is Chibueze Obuabo. He's a top person in the army, and he's an Igbo. That they need to be able to take up their space in the army, and they're also going to find ways to be able to reach the new generation. Maybe the modus of enticing them to come into the army is outdated, so they have to find ways to reach these new people so that they know and put out information on what is expected of them, what is the benefit of being a part of the army. I know in other countries, once you finish maybe your high school, the first thing before you get into the university is to go to the army. It's something of pride that you're going off into the army and coming back, and then you're blending into the society at large. So maybe we can find a way to encourage these people to take up their space in the army.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. Okay. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Talk no dey be person, make person no fit talk through inside. But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Look, we not even take responsibility for the children. Please the man.
And that's some warrior.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
It's a win, big brother.
It's crazy. Hi guys, it's your favorite boy Kelly, Red Baby, winner of Big Brother Nigeria No Lose God season. Keep watching Reality Check on TVC. Locked in.
Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is about getting a house, especially in cities like Lagos State. There's been quite a number of reports from different people, prospective tenants, complaining of how the agents are taking advantage of them. They are skyrocketing the agency fees. Most people know that agency fees is usually between 10 and 15%. Many are now charging 20%. Interestingly, I had an experience recently where I told you my nieces are in town. They've moved back to Nigeria, and this is a new experience for them. So they're pretty excited to come and live here. And getting a house has been crazy. And they've gone to a few agents, and the agents had agreed on the rent. They agreed on the percentage of the agency fee and lawyer fees, which was about 1.5 in addition, right? And then they were about to pay. He now said, no, it's going to be 2 years. You're not going to pay agency for 2 years. I'm like, where is that done? Usually you pay agency like one-off fee. He's not saying this. So if you're going to, the rent is 5 million, and your 2 year rent is, first of all, you can only pay for, you're supposed to pay for only 1 year.
Yeah.
You insisted on 2 years.
Now, yeah.
We can do 2 years.
No. The agents now,
they've changed it to
landlords
2 years.
now changing it. Nobody's collecting 1 year again.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 1 year.
Yeah.
But now they are collecting 2 years. Bad enough 2 years. No, he now wants to collect agency for 2 years.
Whoa.
Agency for 2 years. And then legal fee for 2 years.
No.
Administrative, and then there's the third one. Caution fee for 2 years. The percentage of the fee. I said, come on. This is a total rip-off. Yeah. This just happened last week. So they were going to make payment. They couldn't make payment again. Now they're finding somebody. They have to go look for somewhere else, because I'm like, you're not going to pay that much amount of money. So lots of people are complaining about how do we regulate these agents. They just come up with these new rules, especially when there's a law. There are laws, especially in Lagos State, where you shouldn't require more than a year rent from prospective tenants. Even the governor himself mentioned it. I remember that time we discussed, he mentioned it. So we're going to open our phone lines for Nigerians to call in. Share with us your own experience so that hopefully government is listening today and they can see what they can do to help regulate these agents. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 020-1635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your thoughts. Any experiences? BC, want to start?
So a few weeks ago, we're looking for a place for production. And the producer was saying that she wanted to just rent the whole building, so that can rent it for like a year. And so we can do all the shoots we want to do inside and everything, not necessarily paying, because there's also another aspect where they are ripping people off if you're a filmmaker and you have to pay per day. In fact, the least you can get, depending on the type of house that you're using for your production, is 250K a day. And you are likely to be shooting like 10 days or 14 days. You know how much those people are making. So for some people, okay, it's easier to just rent the whole place. You know that this is our production house, and then we can use it. And they were asking for, first of all, the first place, we did not carry any agent. We saw number as we were passing. We called the person. And the person who responded, which was supposed to be the landlord, was saying that, I know you people came directly, but you will pay agent fee. I'm like, but there was no agents that brought us in the first place. So my own question is, what is the use of having these agents in the first place? Because many houses that are for lease or for let, when you're passing, you see it. You can put a call straight to the owner of the house or maybe the administrator of the house. Now, if you go directly to that person, they are still asking you that you have to pay. Even my own shop, where I know the landlady herself, we stay very close to each other. I saw the toilet. I went in there. Madam, I want to take this place. I still paid agent fee. The agent now, I don't know. But she insisted that I had to pay that agent fee. So my own is, what are the jobs of the agent? That's one. Then secondly, they now started saying you pay 10% here. Legal is 10%. Then caution is 20%.
What is caution fee?
I don't know. So that if you damage anything in the house, if I stay in your house for like 5 years, of course there will be things that I would have fixed.
Was the caution the same as service fee?
No, service fee is different. There's service
fee. Service fee different.
There's service fee different. There are some places that are self-serviced, where you have to pay maybe like 500,000 a year or 800,000 a year for them to service it. That's different from caution fee. Caution fee is if you don't damage anything and you are leaving, the landlord will, they never return caution fee. I've had that experience. So it's now, I now heard that, okay, because we were planning, according to our budgets, like 1 year should be okay. They now say, no, they're not collecting 1 year again. It's now 2 years. I'm like, but Lagos State has a law that says it has to be 1 year. They are even having conversations on how people can be paying monthly. They said there's nothing like that, so if you don't want, we should be going. It was ridiculous. And I'm asking people, how did we get to this point where they are really ripping people off? Somebody was telling me that it's the Yahoo boys that have spoilt them. Because those ones come with plenty money they are looking to hide, and then they just pay any outrageous amount of money. And now they assume that everybody who is looking for a house in Lagos is doing Yahoo. No. Where will I get that amount of money? What am I doing?
It's quite unfair, and I really hope that, because I really hope government is listening, because this is experiences that Nigerians are going through, regular folks. Let me come to you, Mariam.
Yeah, so the real estate sector is coming under a lot of criticism recently, just apart from this particular topic that we're talking about, just the fact that houses, especially houses that they've termed luxury, are being sold for ridiculous amounts that are not in, that don't match what it is, commensurate with what it's the structure on ground. So, and it's just one thing, it's just simply one thing. It is not a properly licensed or properly instituted, or is it regulated sector. If you come to Lagos today, you can be an agent, like that. But in other countries, at least some of the countries that we see, you have to be licensed, you have to write the exams, you are properly licensed. And then when it comes to even houses being on the market, you have to list with an agency. So you have these agents asking for all these amounts because the owner of the property can give it to you to show, right? And you're doing your job showing it. And then someone buys it off from another agent who is not, who has not been assigned to that property because the landlord, just wants to sell. So all the work that this agent has done goes for nothing because the landlord found someone who sold something and they move on. So because it has not been regulated, these agents are also finding different ways that they can protect themselves, at least pay for all the work that they're doing. So what needs to be done? All this, we'll just complain and keep lamenting, but what it means is that it's high time that the government paid attention to this particular sector and start properly regulating it. We cannot be said, you see, especially for me, it's those properties where they sell them for millions. In fact, they list them in dollars now. For thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then when you see like the same property or even a better property in other parts of the world, and you're wondering, where do you think Nigerians get this money from? And the Nigerians that are paying this thing, like, don't you get upset? You get into a building, they show it to you, it looks good and nice. The developer tells you this is what he's going to give to you. You move into your property in a week, in a year, everything is falling apart. All the fittings are falling apart. So really, serious regulation needs to be done.
Yeah, okay, so for me, I agree with you that they need to have licenses and they need to be, it needs to be regulated. So for some agencies, for me, the question I want to ask is the loyalty of an agent, like, their loyalty, where does it lie? To the landlord. So
their pockets.
What about we that were coming to rent from them?
What's it concern them?
So when I moved to Lagos, I remember when we moved to Lagos, we got a place and all of that. And after some months, after 5 months, water. We just woke up in the morning, we were going to work. My husband got ready, he was going to work, and the next thing, he just put his leg inside water. Yeah. There was water in the whole house. And so, but from the beginning, they said the agents knew that something like that had happened before to somebody else.
And he didn't
say anything. He didn't tell us. That's why I'm asking, where their loyalty, where
their pockets.
So they collected money. Yeah. So we just entered inside water. It was a very, very terrible incident that time. And again, sometimes you tell these agents, you call them, you tell them, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. There was one, he took us to an uncompleted building. He said, we said we wanted a 3-bedroom flat. He took us to an uncompleted building, and he was like, "Madam, once you pay, they will finish up the house within a month. They will finish up the house."
Your money is gone.
So you can imagine that kind of agent after taking you to all those kind of places. Then you now come and give you after you've already listed out all the your requirements and what.
Let me take this call as well. Hold it for a minute. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
My name is Bukola. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and I'm excited that you're talking about my field this morning.
Okay.
I run a real estate firm, and I think it is good to explain to people what this is about. Number one, you have to be careful about who you deal with. Everybody is an agent, right? A shoemaker is an agent, a security man is an agent. Anybody at all that has information about property will tell you I am the agent there. It gives you, you need to just identify who genuinely is an agent. I have been in real estate for over 40 years, and I have gone through what you're talking about. Let me explain those fees to you. Number one, the agency fee that you're talking about, I have never charged. It used to be 5%, but it has been increased to 10%.
Okay.
I have never charged above 10%.
Okay.
When you have like 3-4 agents, because it's a networking thing, you may have a property and not have the person that wants to take the property, right? So you work with colleagues.
Okay.
When you work with colleagues, you charge 10%. The principal agent, who the owner of the property has given the instruction to, takes 5%. All the others share 5%. The other 5%. Anybody that charges you, so I know a lot of quacks, they will say 20%, 30%, and I'm wondering what's going on, right? That is on one end. Refundable caution deposits.
Okay.
When you see houses that people move out from, you will feel very bad. People have moved out of houses and removed switches, and removed bulbs, and removed so many things in houses. They damage the house.
Okay.
Usually when you pay refundable caution deposit, you want to get your money back. In my case, we refund money. If the only instance I would not refund it if you don't repair the house. And you find out that in most cases, this refundable caution does not even renovate the house.
Exactly.
Any house I give out a well-finished or renovated house. So you have to return the house in the state I gave it to you.
Okay.
You would also notice in the agreement that it says you redecorate the property.
The way you meant
Most people move out of properties, they do not repaint. If you think of the cost of paint alone, your refundable deposit does not cover it.
Exactly.
Let me explain service charge. Ideally, if you're going to pay service charge to anybody, they should explain to you what the service charge covers. Service charge in most cases covers security, covers cleaning of common areas, covers evacuation of the sewage, covers at times you have a pumping machine, for general services. It covers power for general services and most of these other things. But in the event that you go and meet a quack, then you're on your own. But it is regulated. One last thing about the government. The government says they should pay 1 year.
Okay.
Most of these house owners have borrowed money. I'm sure everybody knows what the rate is borrowing money in the banks. That is, if you even get the monies to borrow. You don't know how they borrowed their money. You don't know how they got their money. They have to pay back. So when you now say they should pay for 1 year, the owner is looking at you, it's not the government's house. It's their personal house and they want to pay back their loans. So you cannot regulate what you do not control. Thank you. I hope
you've helped. I have a lot of questions for you, Bukola. I really wish my producers can keep you on, or maybe you can call you back later because I have a lot of questions for you. But we have to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll see if we can get Bukola on to help us out with further questions. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happenings locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's live camera fashion, where we cut, slay, and sachet, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty. My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire. My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you back.
Staying with us. I'm not sure if I have our agent, not our agent, our caller. Madam Bukola, are you still there?
Yeah.
Is she there? Oh, great. Good. Thank you for calling, because we just needed your experience and expertise to help us enlighten our viewers. A few things you said. Let me ask you one question for that, and I'll give to the ladies. Yeah. You said that we must be careful what kind of agent. It's a really difficult task for a regular person who just wants to get a house. Start looking painstakingly to find out which agent, because usually it's our referrals. You call your sister, you call your uncle, you call your brother, you want to do an agent. We shouldn't have to do that. There should be some kind of a system where I can find reputable agents who can get the job done. It's unfair to a regular person who just wants to get a house. So you say we should look for, make sure the person, how do I make sure that is the right agent? I'm talking to the right person. How?
You're right. You're making sense. However, you have friends, you have relatives. I can't hear you again.
Go ahead. We can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I said you're right that there should be somewhere you can go. However, you have friends, you have relatives. You just said your relatives came from somewhere. You are in town. You know people. What I do at my stage now, honestly, I hardly do any runnings around. I work basically on referrals. A lot of people I've worked with over the years, I just sit down, they send people to me. I have so many. You want property, you want to do property, please speak with Buki. She would handle it for you. And then I tell people that come to me as well, you can't be in a hurry, you're not going to rush me. I will tell you what is available, what you can get. Yeah. Some people too, they like life, right? Sometime back, some years ago, there was an issue that happened. A lady came in from Port Harcourt, she wanted to take a property in Lekki. I don't know where she got that referral, I don't know what happened. The properties at that time were going for 3 million, right? I had my banner on the property, and I don't know, these guys came, gave the security 5,000 naira, asked him to remove my board, so they were able to have access to the property. She looked at it and they offered her at 1.5. They said she should pay for 2 years. That's the 2 years rent she paid was the rent of 1 year. She paid the money and she went off. And the security put the board back. And then I received a call from the police that I should come, that I swindled somebody. I said, me, where, ba. I went to Milverton. I didn't know the woman was sitting across me. You know, then I said, who is the person? Where did I get the money from? And all that, and all that. And then they told me the story. I said, madam, how do you, I know you don't live in Lagos, but you should have done your due diligence. It can happen in any field. It doesn't have to be real estate. You get my point? Yeah. How do you take a property of 3 million for 1.5? Okay. So people want things that are too easy to. You get my point? That seem impossible, and that's how they get caught. They get burnt.
Yeah. Okay, madam. Always. Yeah. Let me ask you. It seems like all the landlords are having meetings now to just outrageously increase the prices. Make it very unaffordable for people, because they are now used to people who probably don't know how they make their money coming to rent some of those houses. And everybody is competing with each other. If I can rent for 5 million, why don't I take it to 8 million? These people can pay. What are you people advising the landlords in terms of affordability, understanding that this is Nigeria, where people are struggling? The ones who are coming out with that money to pay is because they are not doing normal work. Normal people are no longer able. It's no longer affordable. What are you people talking? What are you saying about that?
Good. Thank you very much. There are so many landlords that are doing exactly what you're talking about. In my case, I would advise you, this is the value of the property. So I'm sorry, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I don't work for everybody. I would advise you, because once you get that money for that year, that is the end. It now becomes a legal thing for you to get the tenants out of the house, because you cannot afford to pay for the second year. So I advise you, some will even tell you it's so dollars. I tell them we're not in America. We're in Nigeria. Stop calculating the value of the rent in naira or dollars or pounds.
I'm telling you, they do that.
So I advise them, and I mean, if you don't listen to me, I take a walk. But as I take a walk, there are 10 other people willing to take the job. I don't care though. Do you get my point?
Let me let you go. Okay. Let you
the legal fees and the agency fees, is it for 2 years or just a year? What do you? What's the best this thing you advise?
What's the right thing?
What's the right thing?
Hello.
She may have gone.
Oh, I think I'm so sorry. That was a very good, important question to know, because, as I said, we just got recently swindled and we got for 2 years. But go ahead.
Yes, I was also going to, ask her. I know we have like property valuers that come and value your property to determine what the rate is, But I'm wondering, if you've had your property valued, right? And let's say you put 200M on your property, then you find that your neighbors are putting like 500M and they're selling. Will you stick to your integrity and insist that my own is valued, this is what is valued, I would let it go? So that's why we're talking of government coming in. Houses that look like this, that in this area, valued, when it's properly valued, it should be, we should have like a website or somewhere that we can go to, as regular Nigerians. She also mentioned, she said, yes, and then she also mentioned that, people just don't want to really do the work. It's not true, ma'am. You see, there's some people that come into Lagos especially, that is their first time. There are no friends. They've said you've just finished school, or they've just moved you from one country into Lagos. And you really don't have friends. You've just met your colleagues. Everybody's still trying to find their way. If you have family, that works. But for many people, they don't. And those are the people that take advantage of. So if they could just find a place, a reliable place that they can go to and say, okay, these are licensed agents.
I know Mrs. Toke Benson Awiyinka, that she's commissioner for arts and tourism in Lagos, but she used to be a special advisor to the governor on housing. And I know she tried to create a website, I think last Sepra or something, where you actually go there and check for registered agents. I don't know how functional it is. I don't know if it is effective. It's a major problem for us.
Let me say something, right? We are trying to make our country better, our state better, and we have to start giving the roles to the people who are supposed to be in charge of the roles. The local governments should play a pivotal role in this area. Every house that is in this particular local government will be leased from the local government. Either you register with the local government, right? So people can always go maybe like a website or something to see and all of that. And the local government pays attention to people who are renting in their local government and what is obtainable. That's the only way that we can begin to solve this issue, because you know everybody's working as most of the agents are working as freelancers. Just wake up in my house on my bed, I am an agent. I go online, I post it. You are looking for a house, so chat me. Nobody's regulating anybody. But if you know that you're looking for a place and you go to the local government, which houses are available for me I want to stay in this area. So the local government has to wake up. Maybe they don't collect money now from FAC. These are some of the things that they have to do to provide affordable housing.
Because those local roads are maintained
by the local government.
But as you just said it, I can just tell you 101 ways that this is going to be abused at the local government level.
Are you serious?
And so it now comes back to that, I agree, the people conversation we always have. How Nigerians, we just seem to always look for different ways to, you know, take advantage.
So we'll keep the
so local government is now thinking, hey, so they've not brought it to us. Okay, how can I make sure I enrich myself?
Pay me for me to give you the agent.
I think that once local government gets involved, it's going to be more expensive, because they themselves, they will even want to, you know, exploit the system.
There was a tweet that I saw. It says, I and other tenants have been paying 1.3 million naira as rent for the past 3 years to the caretaker of our house. The landlord visited us recently without the idea of the caretaker, and we decided to plead with him to reduce it to 1 million. At Onda, you won't believe that the landlord was shocked to hear that we're collecting 1.3. 1.3.
They don't pay to the landlord's account.
The caretaker sends him 500k.
No, wait. They don't pay to the landlord's account.
To the caretaker's account.
For what?
Well, he said that he shouldn't worry, that he will handle the situation. Our next rent will be 500k. So they've been paying 1.3 to the caretaker. Well,
why are the caretakers collecting the money?
Well, for different reasons. I can see.
So they're going to give the landlord the amount that he will request.
No. I can see how that can work. If a property is owned by maybe a family, you have like a caretaker that handles it. You have like a lawyer that handles it. So I can see how that can happen. But you see, as we said, we the people, this one now decided to take advantage.
Most agents are greedy.
So because a landlord pays to my account.
Most agents are greedy.
Pay to my account. I now give the caretaker, I give the agent.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's paid into my account. You pay into my account.
Like my grandfather's property that I told you, we don't get the money directly. It goes to a caretaker who then shares to the family members. So that kind of thing. So it depends on the kind of property we're talking about. But this is really bad. But I mean, we have to go at a short break, I believe. When we come back, we'll try to wrap up on this. But I would like to hear more from Nigerians and share your experiences with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this. After that day, the man
you not go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as he be.
Men no they ever get fault. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person no make person no fit talk true inside.
But for this country, we know say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we got Tanda Gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We not even take responsibility for the children.
Leave the man.
And that's some warrior.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Rakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer, and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to our hacker. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be wrapping up on this conversation concerning landlords in Lagos, and we'll try to open our phone lines more to get Nigerians to call in. Let's see if you comment on social media and see what we have, because Nigerians are obviously lamenting. I mean, yes, BC.
Okay, so Daniel says, this landlord and agents are no different. This is why I stood my ground that I won't use rent to choke my tenants, and my estates are angry that my house is cheap. That is why I love ex-Governor Buba Marwa. Ladidi says, this is one of the reasons many don't want to return to Nigeria. Many unregulated industries and sectors in the country.
Yes.
Moses Adi said, Fiona says, Madam, real estate agents is different from those roadside people. Purity Vibe says, government needs to start regulating these agencies on housing. Agency fee is not supposed to exceed 10%, exactly. But now they take 20 to 25% on a yearly rent. This is ridiculous.
Take 100%.
Exactly, let's know that.
Let me take this caller. Yeah, Ebenezer, thanks for calling. You're live.
How are you?
Very well.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to make a contribution concerning the issue that you are discussing.
Yes.
Yeah, this agency and the tenant thing, it's a very wide topic. Because, things are very difficult and very expensive nowadays. If you see in Lekki, I've been to Lekki, I have property in Lekki. Houses that goes for as much as 1.5 in Lekki, in the Ojo here, people will tell you that they will pay 200, 250. And if you look at the cost of building houses, renovating houses and all whatnot nowadays, all these are very expensive. The only way out of this problem, people are just blaming the agents. I know agents, they have their own problems too. But government you cannot control what you don't have. Overseas now, people, agencies and government, they own houses and rent houses to people. In Nigeria here, people will tell you that it's too expensive, it's too expensive. What you don't have, you cannot control. If government can invest on housing and make it affordable for people, it will be better. But most of the people that own houses in Lagos, either they are terrorists or the old people. So they live on all these houses for their survival. So you cannot blame the landlords for what's going on.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer. You see, I still don't understand this thing called caution fee. Because if I pay caution fee of, let's just say I pay 100,000 naira caution fee in 2001. 2005, I'm leaving your house. 100,000 naira cannot do nothing. So there's no point in collecting it. Just put in my contract that when I'm leaving, I must replace this, whatever it's broken, I must restore it back to.
But the fee just once, the moment.
It's usually one off. So that 100,000 I gave in 2001, there's no way in 5 years' time it's going to make any sense. Because even inflation, what I can buy in 2001, I can't buy it. So there's no point in having that caution fee in the first place.
Okay, so another suggestion is, like the former house we stayed in, we didn't pay caution fee, but we had an agreement. There was an agreement that when you are leaving the house, you must make sure that you leave the house in the state at which you left it.
Once that is that agreement, you did that because you are a good person.
So when we're leaving, when we're leaving, we had to paint it because I painted orange. I had to paint it back to how
exactly. Majority of Nigerians don't do that. Okay, that's good that you did. You know, let me ask a question: if you were to move into a house and so many things were bad, not in place, not properly fixed, and the tenant had to do the work because waiting on the landlord was taking forever. So the tenant does the work and then gives the bill to landlord. And we have many stories. Tenant will wait forever. You will not see they would not refund that money.
You deduct it from the next rent.
What if I'm not staying next rent? What if I paid you 2 years? What if I paid 2 years and I'm going to stay for just 2 years? And I've made all this.
No, you have to stay for another 6 months.
We have to wrap up on this. I think really from this conversation, it is clear we need proper regulations in that sector. People can't just wake up and say 20%. 15, you can't just do that. It's wrong. It's unfair to people who are trying to get rent in Lagos State, especially in the big cities. It's not just Lagos. Across Port Harcourt, Abuja, the same thing happens. Prospective tenants are ripped off. They are taken advantage of by the landlords and by the agents. So we need to find some way to ensure that these people are properly regulated such that unsuspecting tenants are not stolen from, I would say, pretty much, because you're really stealing from them because our house was inflated within 24 hours.
Yes, now.
They had agreed, they now met them. We're taking 2 years.
They met them,
they sized them up. They sized them up.
Is the American? No, when you speak and when you have an accent, you pay more.
You pay more. Yes,
you must pay for that.
They have Nigerian names.
No.
That's what they call export and import.
We pay more.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guest, our first guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And hey, you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
My tea fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Ever had a cold?
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So my 281 expertise. She combines her passion for media with her astute project management skills, delivering exceptional results on every front. Welcome with us, Laide Daramola, to the show.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
One of the reasons why we brought you is because of the work you're doing in film. We wanted to bring you on Friday, but unfortunately we couldn't make it. But Monday, we just thought, let us talk to Laide because I'm seeing your movies everywhere and you're about to premiere. Tell us a bit about the movie and why you got into that movie project in the first place.
Okay, so we're, like you said, we're premiering Ashwebi Diaries tomorrow in Lekki, and it's so exciting because when I moved to Nigeria in 2007, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anyone. My whole family were all in America. My parents had traveled when they were teenagers. So I had to make my own community, and in making my own community, I had party friends. And we would rock our Ashwebi, be the most stylish, and we would go from event to event. Every IT party, we were there. And so from that was born Ashwebi Diaries. And we created this film, which is like a love letter to Lagos, to our party life and all. And we celebrate the tradition, the culture, the style, our people. So it's just a fun, happy film to come and watch. It'll be in cinemas on April 18th in Nigeria and in Ghana as well.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yes. Did you also highlight the issues we've had so far in the years with people who would do whatever it takes to get Ashwebi?
Yeah, so
whether their children are dying in the hospital, they use school fees to pay for Ashwebi. Did you get?
Yeah, so we did really try to, highlight a lot of the challenges, the pluses and the minuses of Ashwebi culture. Okay. And when we first got the first cut of the film, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do the awful thing of reducing so much, but I think we left the best scenes. And so we do touch on, getting Ashwa that you can't really afford, going lengths to get fabric for events you're not invited to. We touched on, people buying up other people's fabric to, play their family down. We touched on the real purpose of Ashwebi, It's about support, it's about unity, it's about family. And so the way the whole idea of Ashwebi started, we teach that as well in a fun, funny, gracious, colorful way. I love that. So it's a movie, right?
Yes, it is.
So when I first heard it, Ashwebi Diaries, I thought it would be a series, and especially now that you spoke about having to cut some parts out. Why did you decide to do it as a film instead of series? As that's what a lot of people are doing now and enjoying, or is this something you plan to do sometime in the future?
So the reason we did a film was because we wanted everyone to be able to come out and watch it.
Okay.
And you don't really do series in the cinemas, so definitely it had to be a film. And so we are open to continuing the story. So we hope that everybody loves it as much as we love creating it. We had an incredible cast as well. We have Auntie Shafi Bello leading the she was Yaloja. And then we have Kiki, Nancy, Chizi Alice, Kunle Remy as our lead male, Daniel Etienne, Daniel Lloyd, Kalu, Auntie Buki Wright.
It's your first film. How did you get all these people to come together?
So this is not my first film. So my first film was Hotel Abamba about 3 years ago. It went to cinemas nationwide as well, and it's currently streaming on Prime Video. And then we've had 9 other film series that are all on YouTube, and they're coming to Tubi platform, which is a US-based platform. So I'm so glad and happy that they received our content, and then Ashwebi Diaries is my 10th production.
Wow.
Yes.
That was your first.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you who the actors were, but you've mentioned a lot of them, and of course they are A-list. I look forward to watching them, right? So I wanted to ask, what are the challenges you've had so far in shooting the movie and everything? Was there anyone that you...
So we had a lot of challenges. We shot for a long period of time, almost a full month. And then we had 2 large party scenes. We had one scene that had 500 extras that we sold for every individual. Whoa! In costume, fabric, lace, not Ankara. Whoa. So, and it was at the time when dollar changed from 1,000 to 2,000. So we had budgeted for so much less.
Wow.
So financing and budgeting was out the window. Wow. That was a major challenge. And then, like I said, having these great parties that looked, people didn't know whether they were shooting a film or whether they were actually attending a party. So, you know, those were the major challenges.
But you survived.
We survived.
You're standing strong.
Standing strong.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Steven to direct. How was that?
So, yeah, Bjorn is amazing. So she directed Hotel Abamba for me as my first film. And when I was thinking about which director I wanted to work with, I felt that I needed a woman who would be able to relate with the story. And she's so strong and in her craft and super talented. I always tell my crew that I work with the most gifted and talented. So they have shirts and everything. And Bjorn is truly gifted and talented. And she was the right person for this film. When you see, hopefully you guys will come to the premiere tomorrow. When you see the final product, you'll be wowed. It's top notch from beginning to end.
Love that. But I was just wondering, it's a very Nigerian story. Who do you hope beyond Nigeria to watch your movie, and do you think they'll find it interesting?
Yes, so it was shot in such a way to educate. I have a lot of friends, being born in the United States and relocating to Nigeria in 2007, I have a lot of friends that take on our culture and don't really understand what it is. Just like Afrobeat, people listen to the music, are not sure what the lyrics mean. And so it was quite important to me that I made a film that would translate the ocean into other continents, and it's done in such a way that everyone, Americans, British, Caribbean, they will understand it. They'll learn that, oh, this is why they wear the same clothes. It makes sense, because a lot of them are doing these things. I had a friend get married in February last year. She's American. She's only preached in Nigeria and Ghana, and she said she wants Ashwebi for her wedding. And we did it, and she wanted to be sprayed. And we did that too. So maybe we have to explain why spraying started as well.
Oh, fantastic. We're looking forward to it. So give us the dates to tomorrow. When is it coming premiering?
So the premiere is tomorrow. It's going to be super big and super loud. So to set up your notifications, if you're not invited, sorry, you can watch on Instagram, TikTok. And then the film goes to cinemas nationwide in Nigeria and Ghana on this Friday. So it's the Easter movie of the season.
Is your premiere themed?
Yes, Ashwebi extravaganza. So if you haven't gone to your Ashwebi, sorry.
All right, thank you very much for coming. Wishing you the best, lady.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, go on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Check it out.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though. You're getting fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant...
Thanks for staying with us. So this last segment, we're going to be discussing Trump and his economic policies. So in recent weeks, the world witnessed quite a bit of tariffs imposed by the United States of America on countries around the world. Nigeria was not left out in these series of trade sanctions, though it has been put on hold for 90 days. However, China is heavily burdened. Today on the show, we want to critically look at the trade war between the US and China, most especially its implication on Nigeria, and obviously the common man on the street. We want to look at the impact on our economy, most especially inflation, cost of goods, purchasing power, and overall standard of living. Also, what Nigerians can, ahead of its own 3 months grace to cushion the effect, because he has said he has put the whole tariff on hold. Remember, if you recall, Trump had threatened an increase in tariff of goods across all various from different countries. Joining us on the show is the chief economist at the SPM Professionals. He's a fellow international management consultant, born in the US and also in the United States, right? Yes. Welcome with us, Dr. Paul Alaji, to the show. Good to have you.
Thank you so much.
So you can call and join the conversation on 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X, and also YouTube will be happy to hear your thoughts. So, Mr. Paul, there's a lot of confusion out there. I mean, the fact initially was fear of how much exactly. Then we heard 14%. And then now it's been put on hold. And there's been the last few weeks we've been going back and forth. I think the Minister of Trade was worried about how it's going to affect the revenue we're getting from imports from the US. So there's been a lot of fear. Now let's put it on hold. It's a bit of a relief. How does it happen? So first of all, help us understand. Let's start from the beginning. Yeah. Why do you think Trump wanted or he proposed to increase the tariffs from various countries across board?
Okay, thank you so much. Well, economists, for those of us that speak in public spaces, it's important for us to let people understand the conversation. When we talk about tariffs, we are talking of a kind of charge or tax that is collected by governments. Now, when it comes to import tariffs, you are talking of border taxes that countries that is importing collect from the countries or the source of origin or country that is exporting to them on their product. For Donald Trump, it's not new. In 2019, I remember I spoke with your colleague, Mr. Tolu, on his business show by 2 p.m. in 2019, when President Trump got to office and he started introducing tariffs. At that time, Nigeria did not get any piece of pie in the cake of tariffs. But we knew that China got, we knew Mexico got, and a few other countries. And we mentioned that if the world is swayed with any major externalities, it might bring down the entire world in a recession. We didn't know, neither did I see or Mr. Tolu saw that COVID will come. Just months after. In 2020, COVID came and the entire world went down. Why? Because the global trade atmosphere was already weak. These are two powerful nations when it comes to production and security. President Trump returned in 2025, and we're not surprised, I see 2025 or 2024, we're not surprised that these policies were coming again. Because of one thing, that is the question you ask. What is the goal of President Trump? To make America's economy great again. Whether that is comprehensive or myopic, well, maybe we'll get to it. He believes that the trade deficit of America to China, as at that time, was over $500 billion. He also believes that America produce is getting a lot of taxes or tariffs from abroad, while America remain a Santa Claus in their own countries. When it comes home, they are not charging as such. So if you looked at the numbers, and remember that he has a bit of touch in economics too, that's President Trump. And he feels that a country that has excesses perhaps might be classified as country that have dominance. So the goal of President Trump is for the American economy to have dominance. Average American actually support him. It's those who sees beyond the line that says, hey, President Trump, we are not just a country out there. I'm tempted to mention the name of a country. We are not just that kind of country. This is America. The global economy partly relies on us. So we cannot, as a nation, say we want to increase tariffs simply because we want to start having trade excesses. But you say, there is the balance. President Trump only talked about goods. He did not talk about service. He did not talk about education, people who go in abroad. He did not talk about those taxes that they are providing to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is not even taxing as such. So it limits it to good. But in economics, when you talk about economic activity, it's not just selling of phones, we're also talking of selling of software that drives the phone. So the world has reduced the argument to goods. Meanwhile, in economics, we talk about goods and services. So the services is where President Trump and his team seems to be very quiet. But of course, the world is consulting. There are different bodies around the world that study economics that is also expanding the conversation and also telling America the implication. Because when you deny your population, don't think American economy or American citizens have endless amount of money. If the tariff is too high, then it becomes difficult for them to buy. But that is partly the goal, such that American factory will start producing. So when they start producing, the rest of the world will now come back and depend on them. But unfortunately, you cannot eat your cake and have it. The goal at Benicio was that if the world continue to depend on America, then America will now start producing like China. But something was a foundation. China has the cheapest labor at a time. If you ask me the country that has that kind of cheap labor now, is Nigeria. I think that Nigerian authority from Ministry of Trade and Investment, Commissioners of Trade and Investment across our country, we start looking at what is happening. This is an opportunity we must not miss as a nation, because it provides us with that chance. And now that we know that we have the basis, the foundation, first is cheap labor. Two, Chinese government started building factory from one point to the other. Thirdly, they set a goal. What was the goal? The GDP component of China, when it comes to manufacturing, must be 40%. They didn't say when it comes to production. Production is larger than manufacturing. When it comes to manufacturing, must be 40%. And Chinese government tried, evidently, to work towards that, such that they can expand in manufacturing. Is Nigeria not exporting? Is Africa not exporting? We are. But the question is, what are we exporting? We're exporting agro-produce, we are exporting natural resources, which includes crude oil, by the way, without adding value. So because of those, our production is not even sufficient, because when you export 1 barrel of crude and you want to import back as PMS, you want to import back as Jet A1, or you import, or you want to export, call it cocoa. So you want to export it back as whatever finished product. Where are the jobs? The jobs are in manufacturing centers. Where is the revenue? The revenue is where it is manufactured. So you are priced, because check all of us are Africans, from Nigeria to Zimbabwe to Angola, to we are Africans. And as Africans, we are blessed naturally with resources. But our ability to put our content, the content of our brain, to what is underneath our food is what seems not to be there. And I hope that in the coming period, we'll put all of this in place.
Okay, we hope so. My question is, why are we panicking as a nation based off of the policies that Trump is putting in place to strengthen their economy? How does it concern us so much that we're beginning to run helter-skelter and see how it's going to affect us? In what capacity will it affect us, knowing fully well that we're not really exporting as much? That would, that some of his policies now would affect our exportation. So why the panic for
in
Nigeria?
2022, Vladimir Putin woke up from any side of his bed and decided to go to war with Ukraine. Price of diesel in Nigeria jumped from 270 per liter to over 1,000. What was our role? No bomb exploded in Nigeria. No missile. Why? Because the world is like a web. We are interconnected. The Black Sea deal affected Nigeria. It affected virtually everybody in the world. So when two countries that are major production have concerns, those who buy from them. Imagine China is importing software from America that drives your iPhone, and the price of that software has significantly increased. And producer, we always push it to the final consumer. That is why the worst place to be is just to be the final consumer. As much as you are consuming, make sure you are producing, you are giving to the world, so that what you are taking, you are also producing, you are adding to the global economic ecosystem, which we need to do more now. So it certainly will affect us, because the price of, look at many students, I think pupils, I don't know if they're on holiday or they're in school now, they're on holiday, so parents will be buying school uniform. Where do you think those uniforms will come from? Where will they come from? Even in some schools in Lagos and Abuja, because I'm based in Abuja, so I hear schools that say that, don't worry, let your children come, the uniform is going to be, we're going to import them. From Britain, we import them. Now, when you do that, Nigeria imports nearly 80% of our school uniforms from India, from China, and from Britain, and from Bangladesh. Bangladesh, I joined the table. But the question is it the person that shows the matter, or the person that manufactures textile? Lagos, Kaduna. In fact, Kaduna. Let me leave Lagos. We know Lagos is a great state. Now, Kaduna used to be the manufacturing hub, not of Nigeria, but of West Africa. Wow. Not of Nigeria. Today, it's a shadow. That center, those industries now shadow of themselves. Until we go back, if America coughs or Russia coughs or something happen in the Middle East, it will certainly affect us. And the code that we are not the one that cough, even if we are not close by, honestly, it can affect us as a nation.
So in responding, you have answered all the questions that I was going to ask. But I'm going to say, you sounded a bit optimistic when you said this will help us think about, going forward, how to sort of arrange ourselves, position ourselves. But I'm saying this is conversations we've had many times. In fact, in the papers too, today, they said Minister for Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, was also saying that this is like a blessing in disguise. Now we can strengthen trade within the African continent. But this is not today's conversation, not yesterday's. It's been going on forever, like since I was a child and I'm an adult. What has stopped us really from becoming the strong superpower, or forming a strong African trade that we are not affected so easily by the Western world and their policies?
Fantastic question. In fact, we have Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Nigeria is a signatory to that agreement. The question is, since we've signed years back, why has it not really impacted any African countries or materialized? It's simple. Companion of fools shall be destroyed. We are producing similar things. We are producing similar things. If it's not producing cocoa, you are producing shea butter. Check our TikTok. Check TikTok. What are the things African advertise, and what are the things Asian advertise on TikTok? What are those things? What are the things? Now, as lady, this I don't want to say this is a ladies' show, but I'm tempted to say, okay, it's a ladies' show. Check what ladies buy from nice weave on. Where is it made from? Nice eyeglasses.
Asia.
Nice wristwatches. Nice clothes. See, if their name is Tokumbo, they might also be imported as a person. Because in Africa, men impregnate their wives and export the wife and the child and brings back into Africa. Now, here is the challenge. Until we understand that the nature has done its part by blessing our soil with nice tubers of yam, oil and gas, and so on and so forth. Well, you see, we cannot outsource our brain. The content of our brain is what will help us as a continent, and most importantly as a nation, to help us get to that point where the rest of the world will now depend on us. Starting from those ones that we have comparative cost advantage over. We have crude, we need refinery to function. And I'm happy that successive government has been hammering on Dangote's refinery. With our local refineries, we need to do everything to make those refineries work, because there is no progress without energy. Energy can be broadly classified into two: electricity and source of automobile or factory running. So you can you can further bring them below all those. So here is it. Africa wants to depend on producing primary produce or primary products and hope that there is a future. It never worked anyway. You know, when you eat sandwich, you have bread, then you have what is in between the bread. We have sandwich our miracle. What is that miracle? Is manufacturing. In economics, that manufacturing, for you to be a great nation, such that some of these policies will not affect you badly, must be 40%. In Nigeria, service is what takes largest proportion, over 50. That's where you have insurance. They're good. They're doing good. Telecom, I'm not saying we should reduce them. I'm saying that we must come together, first, especially at state level. And I'm happy that we have local government autonomy.
We're exporting services right now, because Nigerians, obviously, there's a lot of work that Nigerians have been when it comes to educational and exposure, where service delivery is one of the, I was seeing some data a few months ago, where our services, the percentage of services we offer to the world has actually increased. Shouldn't that be part of some of the forex which you're expecting? Okay, so there's something called complexity index. You need to check MIT. Complexity index talk about the rigorosity, the mental contribution to that thing we're exporting, and that will affect our price. I don't know what's iPhone 15 or iPhone 16 or a flip phone. If you have iPhone 15, how much is it? I want to just demonstrate something to you, and this will help leaders across Africa, not just Nigeria. iPhone 15 may be about maybe $2,000 now. Now, $2,000. Put it on one side. If you convert that to naira, that's over 3 million naira on one phone. How much is a barrel of crude now? A barrel of crude right now, let's be charitable. Let's say $70. We're charitable. Okay. Let's even say $80. Let's say $100. That there is boom. I mean, it's selling $100. Now, you need
For one iPhone, which is 2,000, you need 20 barrels. That means when you carry your phone, you are carrying 20 barrels on your hair. How many barrels are we producing as a nation? And only one company, how many are they producing? That's where the problem lies. Now, where companies are producing manufactured goods with a lot of knowledge that they've added to this produce. And that is why you see private sector in Africa, especially our country, must work.
Just busted my bubble.
Must work. If it does not work, I am afraid we will keep trying. Our government will be sincere. They want the good of Nigeria. Oh, wait, who else will rule Nigeria? We've had President Obasanjo. People say he tried, he did not try. We've had President Yaradua. He tried, he did not try. We've had President Jonathan. He tried, he did not try. We have President Buhari. He tried, he did not try. We have President Tinubu. He tried. See, we will always complain. The real solution, the economic miracle of our country, lies in our ability to make the rest of the world hopelessly depend on us.
Okay.
If they don't hopelessly depend on us, I am sorry. We will hopelessly depend on them.
Okay, so now I get you. I agree with you, because Nigeria, we need to be proactive as fast as we can, because mostly when these external policies happen, it always affects us, and that's when we now start trying to get solutions and all of that. So now I need you to highlight the sectors of this economy that you think will drive and make this country a bit, successful in terms because of this tariff ban that has just happened.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. I will mention a few sectors, but at the end of the day, what happens is linkages. You have to link them together. No sector can be isolated in economy, because it's even a web. The global economy, the Nigerian economy must be interconnected. So the one that seems to be low-hanging fruit for us are the foods that we have. Our production. Yeah, we have, that's agriculture, even though we have challenges on our farms. And I've seen people say, oh, we have so much insecurity. I've been to different parts of the world. I have not seen one country without insecurity. I'm sorry. There is relative peace in some part, but here is it. We can decide to create farm hubs. From Ibadan to Lagos, I'm using that as example, or from Kaduna to Abuja. Ibadan to Lagos have sandwiched Ogun State in between. Abuja to Kaduna have sandwiched Niger State in between. Now you see bushes on both sides of the road.
Desert.
What desert? Not really desert, fertile land. Even in Niger, fertile land. What are we doing with that?
They will say bandits will come and meet.
So that's the
see, government, government, state, local, federal government can create farm hubs with definite security presence. And this is not new policy. As a matter of fact, in 1957-58, the late sage Obafemi Awolowo did the same thing. And some of those settlements are still there till today. So it's what we can do. And we can give it any name. Two, manufacturing, no matter how light it might be. In 1952, 53 to 55, I doubt that if you see Chinese vehicle, it will irritate you. Chinese vehicle. Today, on Tom Milan Bridge is openly advertised, one of the best vehicles, even electric vehicles, EVs, from China. It's advertised. Why? Because they kept trying, they made mistake, kept trying. See, I don't care what we are producing. It might not look good. Whether it comes from Aba, or it comes from Sokoto, or it comes from Oshogbo.
Let's use it.
It must come.
Yes.
Now we have we have something going up in Inewi, and I'm happy that successive government, I think this government has also sustained it. That vehicle, innocent vehicle. Government, even this government, I've started saying government, patronizing agencies of government, patronizing it. That is where our miracle will come, but we don't need one to avoid monopoly. We need more. We need more of those local vehicles to be in place than we can make. Yes,
there's a school of thought. I was trying to find that comment somewhere, because I know I saw it. I'm not even sure if this is it, but what the comment was trying to say, and I'll try to extract a few things here. It says the reality is that with oil, technology, and automation in the comparative advantage in industrial policy has shifted from cost of labor to cost of energy and logistics because of automation. Now, what this person was trying to say is that this issue of manufacture, that the world has gone past brick and mortar, let us see how we can put this together. Everything is now AI, technology, such that where we need to fit in as a people is where there is the knowledge base of how we can use our services and as a brain, I said earlier on, to actually provide solutions not so much of the manufacturing or producing, because we've passed that level.
No, we have not.
I'm just saying, it's a school of thought. I'm trying to make you understand that where we are as a nation, manufacturing is manufacturing, but where we should be going to the future is more of automation. What do you think about that?
There is no future without today. China does the AI. But when you think of what we have in this room, let's strip ourselves of China in this room. Just try it. We might go out naked.
Yes, naked bodies. Yes.
No,
so AI is important. I by no means underestimate what the person meant. In economics, we still call it pathway to the future, AI. But we have to live today. We have to live today.
Building blocks.
If we don't live today, that future will not come.
Yeah. Can I add a little thing to what you're saying? Yeah, even the AI people, they still do manual. They still have their factories where human beings are the ones doing the brick and mortar, depending on the particular industry. So you finish the brick and mortar, you now move it to the people who now use AI to automate it. We have not even started with the brick and mortar. We are rushing to AI. That's our problem.
I don't want to forget this question.
Let me just add to that, and so that you can also correct me if I'm wrong, that if manufacturing wasn't so important, what Trump is trying to do, which is also
is revive
to go
manufacturing back in America.
And they are the AI everything. So if it's not important,
why are they going back to? So let me go to the question that I had in mind. I always use this analogy that the middle class is a major problem we have in Nigeria. For example, we're the ones buying this hair. Now, if you're saying we should strip ourselves naked, I will lose this hair. I will lose every single thing. And as a people, I'm saying, you know what? We don't want to eat sausages that is imported. We don't want to eat all those things that we import. Let us focus on our ogi. Let us focus on our gari and take our breakfast as we do and not worry about those foreign things. Now, as a people, are we ready for that? Because when you say strip, it's easier said than done. Can we truly strip? Because the man on the ground, because he doesn't know sausages, doesn't know Brazilian hair. He's already stripped. He's fine. But can you, middle class, can you strip?
Why not?
And can you truly strip yourself such that we now come back to ground zero and start over?
Okay, so that's not what I wish I had it there. Now, I'm sorry. I hope you. Now, I did not mean that we should strip ourselves to zero. I'm saying
Thank you, my brother.
That's not what I meant in the analysis I gave earlier.
Please.
So what you said is that perhaps I meant that we should start from ground zero. That's not what that is not the conversation. What I mentioned is that if we do a test and remove everything China gave us, what are we going to be left with? But the response to that question is you had mentioned that the middle class is a problem and that the middle class, here is it. Before you do that, economics is not about acting blindly. We must have either done export promotion or import substitution. So it is what you have substituted for that you now remove. Before substituting, if you take that decision, you will pay dearly.
Yes, you will crash.
So you will pay dearly. What are you substituting with? And that is why you see, I like your question because you say, are we ready? But that question should be asked in this direction, in my opinion. If our leaders say, now we want to start a new pattern, we want to redirect this economy, I wish, because it's not going to be easy, it's going to be tough. But there is no one that have had it easy. Are we willing to partner with government? Like Chinese people do. The kind of freedom we have in Nigeria, to be sincere, it's not the kind of freedom you have in China.
At all.
It's not the same. So we need to understand a few things that yes, economic prosperity can come to us, but are we willing as a people and as government to pay the sacrifices that is required?
No, let's start from the government.
Unfortunately, we have to.
No way.
Pay the price.
No way. On the show.
No way.
Fantastic day. We'll see you
tomorrow. How we have just started asking questions.
Well, sorry.
We have to